policies have been more hostile to working class people than Donald Trump's. He ran as a populist, but in many ways, economically, he governed as a plutocrat. That tax cut, 81% of it went to the top 1%. There were a few lollipops that were thrown in there for the middle class, mainly to sell it, but those, of course, expired, whereas the benefits to the wealthy did not. But the bottom line is that I don't really think it is the economy anymore, stupid. I think that people tend to vote more on race, culture, and religion. And that's something that a lot of Democrats don't understand. I have a lot of my liberal friends.
I'm going to fact check you on that, Dave. Only because
hold on, let me finish. And but I do think the bottom line is that a lot of the guardrails are gone. There's no incentive in terms of running for a second term. And the bottom line is so much of our country rests on the rule of law. When the courts say you have to do something, people have obeyed it. There is nothing that says if the courts make a ruling, Donald Trump can say, you know what, I'm just not going to obey that.
Well, we hear a lot about the rule of law.
No way to hold him accountable for that.
Yeah, we hear a lot about the rule of law and that nobody is above the law. I wish they applied that to the border. The fact is that
Okay, I agree. The border is bad, but can we just talk about the whole thing about?
We have, look, you've got Alvin Bragg in New York. You've got Jack Smith in Washington, the special counsel. You've got Fani Willis in Georgia. All of them are Democrats. All of them are partisans. You've got what's her name in New York, who Letitia James, who ran on a platform of getting Donald Trump. And so did Fani Willis. Now, that's not equal justice under the law.
I'm asking about the courts. Again, we're not answering the question here. My question is, in a second term with no guardrails and the idea that there's going to be, if the Senate is going to be Republican and the House, there's been no election since 1988, which was during the 52-year run when Democrats controlled the House, where the party that's won the White House hasn't won the House. So I think, yes, do the Dems have a chance? But I think it's likely that if Trump wins, he'll have all three branches of government. And, our founding fathers thought we'd have crazy presidents. But what they never expected was that the president's party would be so complicit. You have to remember, it was Barry Goldwater that went to the White House on August 8th, 1974, and said, it's over. And then Nixon resigned barely 12 hours later. Can you imagine Mitch McConnell doing that?
Well,
absolutely
also, you, Scott, and the other, I can't imagine any Democrats doing that for Bill Clinton, although there were several who expressed anger at his lying about his sexual proclivities. I can't expect Kamala Harris or Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House of Representatives, ever admitting that they covered up Biden's mental decline. Bret Baier was the first one to ask that question of Harris in his interview on Fox the other day, and she avoided the answer. And then an NBC reporter asked her the same thing, and she avoided the answer. Clearly, he was in mental decline. You don't have to be a doctor to figure that out. But she covered it up, and so did everybody else.
I agree, but
in the end, I will have to say the fact
Biden did the right thing in the end. Okay, now
the thing is, this will, I believe, mark my words, if the Democrats lose the White House, it will be in large part because of that, because they allowed Biden to run again. And they didn't have a competitive primary. And the fact that Kamala Harris...
I agree.
Dave, you keep interrupting me. Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I love you. I love you. Violent agreement. I believe that Kamala Harris is a terrible nominee. She's not won a single vote